Hello guys, I'm going to give you a quick and brief summary of what I think about the 2013 Mac Pro. A lot of people I've seen on the internet have trashed it, called it a trash can, if you get my pun. To me, I'm not personally going to be able to buy this, maybe in 6 years, if you get what I'm talking about, because I'm a personal Mac Pro user. I have the Legacy Mac Pro, and 6 years later I got it because it was cheap, but it's thinking about it now, I'm not going to be able to get this. It's going to be expensive because it is form factored and extremely fast. I can compare this to the comparable G4 Cube, which came out 2005-ish, I think. 2004, I think. Yeah. That cube is basically the cylinder shape for the new Mac Pro. The cube was a monumental failure because they didn't use fans. You see, Steve Jobs had a thing against fans, and the casing would crack from overheating. So that was the main problem with the Cube. Unfortunately for us, the new Mac Pro doesn't have that problem. Trust me, it's going to be a very well working system. That thermal core system and the fan is going to be awesome. Now, to me, the new Mac Pro is more of a jet engine than a trash can. If you look at it, it's a fan. Well, I'll have a picture up here of a jet engine and compared to the Mac Pro, and you can see that the Mac Pro is cylindrical like a jet engine, takes air in like a jet engine, shoots it out the other end like a jet engine, and it's powerful. So I call it the jet engine. That's just what I call it now. To me, a lot of people are upset about. So what I've seen on the internet is people are upset about it being not upgradable. From what I've seen from Apple, on the website, it looks like the RAM is able to be upgraded just like a normal Mac Pro. The graphics cards can be taken out and replaced, and the only thing that I don't think can be replaced is the PCI memory, the PCI Express solid state drives. I don't know how big that's going to be, if that's going to be something you want to upgrade, because solid state's very expensive, and if they put a terabyte drive in, it's going to be an extra $1,000 to the cost. So I don't know how big it's going to be. They might have a terabyte option for those who are gutsy enough to pay for it, but I think the standard might be 250 gigabytes. Also, something that people were upset about is there's no solid hard drives, because one of the things the Mac Pro had is you had 4 slots to put in drives, and on this new Mac Pro you don't have that. That option isn't something is something to me as a person, as a consumer who doesn't necessarily have enough room to buy a hard drive array or pay for a server or something like that. The Mac Pro for me, I want everything in the case. Now, what I think Apple's genius is here, and what most people were thinking was a stupid idea, is Apple is doing this for the Pro line customers, right? Now, my dad has talked to some guys from the local TV station in Philly, who he was trying to figure out what the best editing software of the day was, what the best configuration for a computer is for video editing for the local service station, Channel 2 in our area. And he talked to them, and they gave him a tour of the place, and they have basically like 20 workstations on different levels of this building, and everybody works on the workstation, And when they're done their projects, they send the media to a server. They dump it onto a server and wipe the drive. So they only have like one drive, just big enough to render, take the audio from the server, render it, edit it, and send it back up. And that's how they do their business. Now, what I think the genius of Apple is, they probably knew that most big enterprise companies like ABC are doing this. And so they gave you a small amount of space, small little cylinder, that is going to take up not a lot of room on your desk. It's going to be able to have 3 monitors. It's going to be a space saver overall, and that you can just basically import from those servers, edit, and send back. You don't need a lot of space for that. So that's what I think Apple was doing, was space saving on the desk, is by limiting the form factor and taking out that physical drive, because they believe that most of these people the most pro consumers have a server, so they're just going to dump everything on the server and up. And for those of whom they think are going to buy it on the home level, for example me, I'm not going to buy it, but if I was able to buy it and I did, they're probably going to be thinking, oh well, they're just going to have to pay for a external hard drive. It's Thunderbolt, and by the way, PCI Express 3 I think we're on is slower than Thunderbolt by a lot. So PCI Express, the memory chips are going to be fast because they're flash, but the Thunderbolt 2 is going to be a hell of a lot faster than your average SATA cable. Yeah, so I'm not complaining about that. Other than the fact that it is going to take up room, uh, I already have like two drives sitting here. Instead of them being backup drives, I guess they just have to be the real thing, the actual drives. But I wouldn't worry about that. That to me, I think the I/O on that thing, the six Thunderbolt ports, plenty. Instead of having the drive inside, you just have it outside. And to some people, that's kind of bad because they want to have everything inside less cluttered. But to tell you the truth, I would prefer an outside drive because it means if it's broken, I don't have to go in there and pull it out. I can just unplug, open up the case, take the drive out, put it out. But I do like it inside because it makes it less cluttered. But if I had a choice on a Mac Pro, the new one, having it inside or outside, I think I'll take it outside because I can just replace the unit easily if it breaks. Because you can just unscrew it and take it out. You don't have to like. I guess what I'm trying to say is that it to me isn't a big deal. I prefer it like that because that means that I can set up a server and have the storage outside because that's really what I want to do here on my house. Is I was working on this old PC with like a Pentium 3 just so I can set it up as a file server, and I set it up with Ubuntu and everything because I just wanted to have my computer be just free. I just want to have so much storage space on my computer so that if anything does happen, like I'm trying to render some video and it ends up being like a terabyte big, plenty of room. And I think that Apple's genius on this is showing through because they're thinking about the enterprise company who has a server, and also they're moving towards the cloud. So why would they work against their goals? Their goal is to get everything on the cloud. Why would Apple make a unit that requires a lot of ground storage, which is a pro consumer would want, but if you think about it in their goals, this is moving towards a more cloud-oriented computer. Since the future of the desktop is here, the Mac Pro is the future of the desktop, as we can see, Pro desktop for sure. They're trying to move it towards the cloud and more server-based enterprises. That's my opinion on the new Mac Pro. If anybody wants to comment on what I've said, please comment below. Remember, please like and subscribe. Thank you.